Okay, so the last tutorial I was showing you guys more or less how to make, what was it, a 2D drawing? Yeah, it was just the manipulation of line weights. So I'm just gonna run by through you how quickly how to make some nice sections. Yeah. So as you can see, I cut away my model, the design that you guys saw last time. And now what I'm gonna do is make a nice section perspective. The easiest way to go about making this, let's see, first we have to go to here. Okay, so we want to go into the clipping plane, and we wanted to go make it vertical, so that way it's just easier to manipulate. We go here to the top, and we move it a little bit in the X direction, this red arrow, so it cuts a little bit into the model. So we're going to go 1 inch deep until we see these lines pop out. So that way, once these lines pop out, we go into the left view, if I remember right. So the thing with the clipping plane, it's activated according to different, like you can choose where it's activated. So while it's held, you go into the properties tab, and you go under this. It says right here, clipping plane. So you normally would see the properties for your layers, but if you go to a clipping plane, you can go on ahead and hit left there. So this left view, you can see that this pops out, right? So how do we get into perspective? We highlight everything. This is the method I use. I select everything. I'm in set view. Was it set view? Yeah, it's in set view. Right here, toggle view projection, and then it'll zoom me out all the way, right? But then while it's still selected, we hit this zoom extents, and now it's in a section perspective. But one thing to always keep in mind is that because we already established the previous line weight standards, that we think about it critically when it comes to something a little bit more complicated, like a section perspective. So always keep in mind what would be the lightest line weight according to how things are in depth. It might be a little bit easier to mess around with in a more orthogonal drawing, but it's always something to consider. And then the furniture is over there. So the furniture, I need the furniture to be the lightest line weight, which would be that color. I use the colors to help me with the line weights. So then with the railings also make sense to be the same line weight or the same color as the furniture. But this guy right here, this is, let's say, the shell, right? I want this to be a little bit different. I'm gonna ungroup that, and yeah, well, whatever. We want the shell to be just thinner, I guess. So these cutting, the way that this cuts through, I guess I'll just use the drawing layers to help me out here. Green layer isn't that bad, but then again, we want to hide this. These guys are too close together for them to be green surface color. We want them to be something like an indicator, so we'll highlight that, and then we'll go into the drawing, and we'll go into indicator and change the layer, and it'll change accordingly. Oh, there's still some parts that are still inside that layer. So we go here. I have to put here, yeah. Is there one missing? Yeah, there's two missing here. Indicator. Yeah, so that's good. That's good right there. Say more or less, and then we go back and show. This big box, let's hide that. Okay. So right now, okay, so we're gonna go into the other left view. Well, no, we want this left view. Let me take some. No, this left view is just fine. But we want to correct this and go back to here, so that way we can take this drawing and have it go back to this projection and go along this way. And while it's still selected, we can do the make 2D. from there I want to go into this view, this view is better, go into the top view, zoom into the drawing I just made. So we take this drawing, let me just eliminate some model that's probably slowing me down. I don't really need that right now, I have other saved files. But we go into the make2D file, right? And in here we'll have a layer called clipping plane intersections. So that's why we needed the clipping plane. The clipping plane will show us where it cut into, and usually that is the darkest line weight, and the one for that is the cut. So I'll rearrange these in the order that we need them to in order for us to know just which one is supposed to be darker. The hidden is supposed to be the lightest line weight, so we're gonna go all the way down until it goes to the bottom. The surface is the second one, and then the indicator is the second to last one, but the profile is darker line weight than the profile. So because typically when we do a normal, like a very simple section, all we do is a fill in kind of poche kind of section. So whatever's in this cut line, we want to erase what's inside here. Usually if you model things correctly, it shouldn't be an issue. I just use the trim command and it pops up and it'll cut everything in. And then we're gonna go here and cut off some more of this. Yeah, the idea with trimming away, you want that section to be nice and clean. If there's not any detail in it, you don't want any of the background model to get in the way in your drawing. Select this again. Alright, what else is left to cut away from? We have some things to do here, right here, there. Right here, we should cut away here. We really want that section cut to show through and really pop out, so there shouldn't be anything in the background. It doesn't make any sense, it's cutting through things. It shouldn't show what's behind it. Okay. So more or less, yeah, we got it. So with that, guys, you just pretty much repeat the process for any of the 3D models you have. You want to arrange those, any 3D model that you have into the right color for the line weights when you make 2D. And with that, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. You can carry this through. The addition of the clipping plane is really interesting. You can keep manipulating it however you want. But with that, thank you so much for coming in and listening, and I hope you liked this video. Please leave like, comment, subscribe, whatever you want to do if you like this video, and thank you for stopping by.